I love visiting art galleries, but I ask myself, what does modern art mean to me?
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Adam Pett, I'm your customer service manager on board today's flight to Venice. I'd like to have my personal welcome to you all and welcome back our executive club members.
I'm en route to the 58th Venice Bienale. This is the way film stars arrive in Venice. But there's no paparazzi to meet me, just a dripping tap. Here I've arrived at the B&B called the Oceanara Mare in the Castello region, or Castello Siesta, or whatever. In Venice, a really quiet part of Venice, far away from tourists, very authentic, so I'm told. I was met very enthusiastically by a gentleman called Nicola, who's the owner of the establishment. He told me about his father, who he never met, but his father worked at the nearby Arsenale as a military man, and he had lots of girlfriends. He was a bit of a Casanova. I buy something to eat at the local store. Someone asks me the way to the Piazza Dan San Marco. Suddenly I realize I have no Italian. I don't understand Italian. Non parlo italiano. Next morning, I explore the local area. This church's claim to fame is that this is supposedly where St. Mark had the vision from the angel that this Venice was going to be his final resting place. I never thought Venice would be this relaxing, just watching the boats on an fairly early Tuesday morning. It's a bit early for the Lithuanian exhibition. It's kind of an opera set on an artificial beach with sun and sand. I'm not sure that I'll get into this, but let's see how we go. No point in waiting around. I need to get tickets for the Biennale. May you live in interesting times. Fellow South African Salaneni Malole's self-portraits as a black lesbian greet me as I enter the Arsenale Pavilion. I'm watching 48 war movies layered on top of each other. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm not actually at the Venice Film Festival.
สิ่งที่เรียกว่าความเป็นจริงถูกสร้างขึ้นมาจากคำพูดของคน
A lot of this doesn't make sense as I wander through. It's only as I later take time to read up on them that it does, but not always. I wonder about the other visitors. Are they making more of it than I am? Is this art tourism? May you live in interesting times. But what is the art saying?
What are the themes? Racism is one.
Robert Henry Lawrence, an African-American astronaut who died in an accident on December the 8th, 1967, received many hateful letters after his death. Power and authoritarianism.
Childhood trauma, perhaps?
You are not being sound. I can't hear you.
There's a voice in my head. It's that of my father. This is all fake. It's not proper art at all. It's the madness that comes from the world that has lost God. A world without hope. The broad road which leads to destruction.
All right, Dad, but let me think about this for myself. For one thing, new technology allows a new kind of thoughtful art. Recorded voices which speak or sing the verse of 100 imprisoned poets. And there's so much here that I find really intriguing. Well, that's it for Proposition A. This is my second visit to Venice. I'm still not sure whether to hate it as a tourist trap or love it for its special character. Right now, the art is spilling out everywhere.
It's quite warm, I have to say, quite warm and humid. Have now arrived at the Giardini. I haven't gone in yet. It's a thirsty day, all right.
Here I expect not only to see Proposition B, but also the international exhibitions.
بلشت أشوف أجزاء من نفسي بكل واحد فيهم. صار العكس برضه صحيح. أنا السبب اللي خلاهم يصيروا يشبهوا بعض.
At the Danish Pavilion, reflections on memory and parents I find particularly relevant.
في أي لحظة الحاضر بيفرض لغته وبيعكس بالماضي المعنى تبع اللحظة هاي. الماضي ما كان، الماضي هو بس هلأ. هاي اللحظات برضو رح تختفي هي كمان.
At the Belgian Pavilion, a utopian world, pure and clean, coexists and is not aware of a parallel world of outsiders. The works in Proposition B are by the same artist as A, but they reflect a different aspect. Doppelganger explores the quantum mechanics concept of entanglement. Alice is mirrored by her alien entangled twin, many light years away.
What the hell?
Space refugee. Mohammed Ahmed Faris was Syria's first and only cosmonaut. Now he's a refugee in Istanbul. A gigantic robotic arm, taught to perform 32 different movements,
and scoop back the blood-like liquid which oozes out. There are social and political statements here.
We are a white supremacist nation, and we always have been. We have white supremacist institutions, culture.
In White Album, Arthur Jaffa reflects on his experiences of the madness of white supremacy. But then there's also his love of friends who happen to be white.
Education is whitewashed and biased. Entertainment is whitewashed and biased.
Back outside in the gardens, I find the Polish pavilion. As a private pilot myself, I'm intrigued by the aeroplane turned inside out.
Floating like glue, just above us.
The film in the French pavilion nearly restored my faith in the whole Biennale. It was funny, a bit like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type scenario with squids and other things, and you get to the pavilion not through the front entrance but around the back, where they're busy building a tunnel to the Great Britain exhibition next door. I asked the attendant there how far they'd got, and she said, no, it's a secret. And so she said, we'll find out on the 31st of October. Yeah.
The queue outside the Great Britain Pavilion felt like too much of a challenge at this stage.
After 2 days of viewing and filming, I'm exhausted. Oh, all right. Maybe just a quick look at the Thailand Pavilion at the back of the restaurant.
That night, I do something different and attend a modern opera at one of Venice's old theatres.
I'm back at the Church of the San Francisco de Vigna, quite near where I'm staying, and it's Wednesday morning. It looks like it's going to rain and rain heavily. There's some ominous thunderstorm thunderclaps in the background every now and then. And but this is the part of the church that I missed yesterday, which is the cloisters, which is very beautiful, and also a little chapel which has a painting by Bellini. So I'm just going to walk around a little bit around this area until it's time to go back to the Biennale.
I popped into the church of San Giovanni da Malta to see the art by Chinese artist Chon Long called Constellations, and which had a theme of hope. Oh dear, a long queue has formed outside the Lithuanian exhibition. Let me find out what's happening. Do you know if there's a performance? Oh well, looks like I'm going to have to give it a miss. I found a peaceful and tranquil space. The artist attempts to recreate a sense of home using natural materials, seeking comfort in her journey towards self-realization. The South African exhibition focuses on the social resilience of its people and wants us to think critically about where we as a nation, where we have come from, where we are, and where we are going. But there are many more countries and so much more to see. And what do I think about the presence of the fishing boat, in which more than 700 migrants perished? To me, it's a silent reminder indeed of the times in which we live. The Ukraine had a wonderful idea. Why not load digital data about all the country's artists into the world's largest cargo aircraft, the Antonov An-225 Maria, and fly it over Venice so that it casts its shadow on the Biennale? It would happen on May the 9th, if permission could be obtained. It wasn't. Two dreams which were not fulfilled. For the Ukraine, a symbol. For those on the fishing boat in the Mediterranean, the loss of everything, even their lives. For me, time to leave the madness of art for the madness of the everyday.